All right, coaches, for today with our warm-up, really utilize the barbell movements that we're doing here. Everything that we're doing with the barbell through the complexes and into the workout have relatively very similar movement patterns. So let's make sure that we're setting people up for success, making sure that we're warming them up properly, understanding that strict, making sure that we understand that getting our head through that window is a point of performance for both of these things in regards to the push jerk, split jerk, and through the thruster. When we start pressing away, that's when we're doing it wrong and we're not hitting the right movement. So let's make sure that we help our athletes during the warm-up today in understanding how all of these movements connect and can help us do the movements properly with whatever weight we choose. For our clean and push jerk complex, making sure that we are coming from the hang position. So it should all be done from right above that knee. And I want us to make sure that we're starting in a dead stop. I know that as I observed a lot of classes, this is not on you, this is on me, making sure not to translate this or get this to you as best I could, but making sure that from that hang that we're coming from a dead stop and that we don't deadlift it up and go right into it like this. We want them to make sure to deadlift it up, come down, hold and dead stop at that hang position, and then go into the movement. Really puts the focus on the hips and being explosive to the top. We wanted to make sure on our pulls that the barbell is staying as close as possible to that body. We don't want it coming out here and those elbows getting lower than the level of that bar. Between the two complexes, the only difference is the difference between a push jerk and a split jerk. I went to multiple classes this week when those movements were, or this last week when those movements were involved, and the coaches that were there basically said, do whatever you want. No, don't do that. We are helping our athletes in the first part to work on their push jerk. It should be relatively light, moderate weight, meaning that they should be able to drop those hips and get underneath it, okay? And then the second part with those three sets is getting in the split jerk, focusing on the footwork and the dropping of the hips and getting underneath that barbell. We tend to think that with the shoulder to overhead, with the push jerk and the split jerk, that it's just about pressing it. We want our athletes to understand how we're going and dropping under that bar as much as possible, dropping those hips. No, there is a difference. Please make sure that in the first 4 sets, it's push jerk, and the last 3 sets, it's split jerk. Focus on helping your athletes understand the difference and what they're meant for, okay? As we're getting into Royce done, this is going to involve some weight changing, so make sure that your athletes have that set up and ready. Try to encourage them not to use a ton of clips or a lot of like crazy variations of weight, that it should be basically when they're starting, that they're able to just strip the weight off and be able to get to those different weights as they come in. Recommend to them to do the changing of weights after their run. Okay, so they should go really fast and hard on their run, not necessarily sprint, but that's 80 to 90% effort, so that when they come back in from that 100 meters, that to breathe and to help them focus on the breathing, they're changing those weights, taking them off, putting their clips back on, and going right into the reps. This is fast. The goal is sub 3 with a cap of 4 minutes for every single set. So keep that in mind as you're helping your athletes move through this workout. That I know that when we put it in for a single time, we kind of just let our athletes do their thing, but please put focus on each one, trying, and I know it can be difficult based on the number in our classes, trying to help them make sure that they're staying in that 4-minute period. But just because we are doing one total time doesn't mean we just let them do their thing. That each set should be under that 4 minutes and can't be past that 4 minutes. So stopping athletes if you're still seeing them move at that 4-minute period, and then kind of getting an idea of where each one is and helping them grasp that. We want to make sure that the weight we're using is unbroken thrusters. Everyone should relatively be good at getting that run done and moving quickly. But the thruster weight is going to really determine how we get this work done in that 3-minute period, or that goal of the 3-minute period. So make sure you help athletes pick the proper weight and find the right level for them in determining if they can go on that last set unbroken after the previous reps that they've done at heavier weight.